Hello. Hey. Hi. It's Tuesday, ain't it? Right? It's Tuesday? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. I hope everyone has had, is having, or will have a good Tuesday. This is supposed to be Monday. Again, I apologize. Tech issues are always fun, especially when your PC literally blue screens on you. But anyway, we're playing Minecraft today, and I always love playing Minecraft, trust me. They're so chill, they're so fun, there's always so much to do, until there's nothing to do, but as of right now, there's so much to do! So, we're gonna be getting into it. My plans are, we're gonna try to renovate the area around my house, because it's looking a little drab, it's looking a little basic. So, we're gonna get into that. I will, chat a bit, as I usually do, as we go, because that's how these streams often go. But, you know what? I think we'll have fun. I do love Minecraft, so why don't we hop into it, eh? Just hope, you know, it doesn't doesn't magically crash on me. Please, Minecraft, be stable. Let's see if it comes up. And it crashed. Ugh, come on, man. This game, I swear, every single time it crashes. It'll be up in about 2 seconds. I think it's because I booted up too early, honestly. I don't know. I always have that issue. But, you know, computers are never stable. I've learned this lesson quite a few times over the past couple of weeks. God, what a mess. What a mess over the past little bit. Like, I swear, at least once per week so far, I've had some upset where stuff is not stable. But here we are. Ah, finally. Ah, wonderful Minecraft. Oh yeah, the world's still called Borngis. I don't think that's ever gonna go away. We're gonna see that every single time I load up this world. So, you know what? We live with it now, right? When you name a world a funny thing, you get stuck with a funny thing. So, man, new week, eh? We're almost at the end of January, which, wow. I mentioned before that time flies, but I'm gonna keep mentioning it because it's constantly true. Time really does fly. Oh, Minecraft, hold on. There we go. Look at my little guys. They don't have names yet. I could not think of names for them as of right now. But they're still adorable, and they're going to be adorable. So, that's fine. I do want to come up with a, like, my issue when it comes to naming things always is, I swear, like, I either come up with something dumb that I don't like and want to change later, or it's something that I've already named before. So, like, I don't know, I would name this dog, like, I can't even think of names. That's another thing, is I just cannot think of names to save my life. I could name the dog after what I would name an actual dog that I would get, and I could name the cat after what I would actually name a cat, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, let's take a gander at the local village. I kind of threw all this together, to be honest, so I definitely want this to look a bit better. I mean, we already have a good starting point. I just want to doctor this up some so it's not as drab. I should probably sleep so I can get a better perspective of things. That adventure last time was absolutely nuts. I'm amazed at all the things that we found. I think I found, what, 7-ish villages or something crazy like that. And rest in peace, Black Cat and Red Fox. I could not save them from my own mistakes. But we make do with what we have, so. Okay. So I actually haven't seen this village for a little bit now, so I need to get a perspective on, like, how far out this whole thing goes. It looks like it goes across this ravine. That's kind of precarious. Why do you have plants down here, man, guys? Yeah, so it goes all the way around. I can probably do something really nice with that ravine, actually. Honestly, the natural generation lends really nicely to this whole aesthetic, so I don't think I'll have to do much. I definitely want to cage this whole place in. I feel like that would be smart. So I'm gonna need a lot of wood. That's priority numero uno. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I should get rid of some of this grass or terraform or something. We'll see as we go. The plan is to make this place look a bit more dapper. And I might want to renovate the house a little bit too, because I do like it. I like how I built it. It has a good design queue, and I think I used the strip logs pretty okay. But it's a bit plain on a couple of these sides, so I might want to add some details. Maybe trapdoors. This whole back side is like just a wall. I could also do the inside. I don't know. We'll see as we go. Why are you there? Anyway, every time I come into this Minecraft world, I breathe a sigh of relief because I'm in a savanna and in a plains biome, so I'm not like constantly worried about things like snow and such. And man, is it nice to escape from snow as of right now. Ugh. Right now is like it's winter, obviously, Northern Hemisphere winter always, but I swear we're in like a wet season or something, because it has not stopped raining on warmer days and snowing on colder days. I think I've only seen the sun once this month. I'm not even kidding. Today, in fact, we had a record low of, what was it, -4 degrees Celsius. I think I saw on the weather. It's something ridiculous like that. And the apartment I live in is pretty well insulated. I mean, I have a heater on pretty much all the time to combat the heat. I need to sort these out, my god. I have a heater on to combat the heat as much as I possibly can. And it works. It does its job. I need some acacia saplings and probably some bird saplings. But like there's a section of the apartment that is not insulated, just because of the way it's designed. And the whole section where there's no insulation, there's a window to the outside, right? And I'm in an enclosed area. There's not too many like wide open spaces. It's pretty tight knit. So air that gets in here is usually from the street. But we had a nice little cold front pass through. Yeah, a cold front in winter, so you can imagine. That's why it hit -4°C. But like normally it just gets really cold in that section of the apartment. It's the like the kitchen section and the step to the outside. Hello, Mr. Villageman. And it gets cold. So when I go out and I make like food at the stove, or I need to go to the bathroom or anything like that, it's cold and I feel it. The room that I'm in right now is nice, and I'm cozied up in a blanket, so we're chilling. But normally it's just cold. Like there's just that frigid air that blows through. But today, today because of the cold front, the temperature was pretty steady for most of the day, and then it dropped really quickly. And when it dropped, it went from the slightly patchy rain to pretty heavy snow. And in the corner of that window where the cold air blows in, there was actually like a patch of snow inside. It didn't get anywhere, and it's only on the little sill, but it is there. And when I saw that, I went, are you actually kidding me right now? There's no way it's this cold. But it is that cold. It's because of the wind too. Like, like when cold fronts pass through, it's warm air current hitting cold air current. And, well, sorry, I got that wrong. When cold fronts pass through, it's usually because it's a change in air pressure, and it's a difference in temperature, air moving from one place to another. But at the same time, it was on the warmer side the past couple of days, like 5-7 C roughly, which is relatively standard for this time. But it was on the warmer side. And then all of a sudden it got really cold. So what that means is that a cold front and a warm front have collided with each other. And that makes a lot of sense because right as the temperature dropped, it was literally started a thunderstorm at the same time. So at the beginning of the day, it was raining, and in the middle of the day, literally thunder. And then right after all the thunder went away, ice, just ice everywhere. So the weather has been less than friendly. But honestly, I can't really expect much. It's weather. You know the deal. Ooh. Anyway, that's kind of my spiel on that whole nonsense. But you know, until it gets warm, I'm probably gonna talk about the weather because I've mentioned it a couple times. I just don't like it when it's cold. I lived in a relatively moderate latitude pretty much my whole life, so I've experienced snow ever since my youth. I'm not someone who grew up without snow and then all of a sudden was thrown into it, but I've had my fair share of like different weather conditions. I just don't like snow. I just really don't like snow. When it's like just on the ground and the wind is still and you can go outside and like, I don't know, make snowmen or sled, it's fine. But it's never like that. It is literally never like that. It is always 110% of the time freezing cold, windy as all get out, and when it's not windy, there's a blizzard. Every time. Without fail. And speaking of weather conditions, great timing. Okay, so let's see. I can make like a dock out here. That'd be nice. I need to clear out some of this. I'll replant these, but I do need to clear out some of these trees. But like I said earlier, I really have no plan for how I'm going to renovate this village. I'm just going to go up on a whim, like I usually do. I like building, so whenever I think of a build project, I usually either get super focused on it or kind of rush through it and see what it looks like at first and then go back and retouch. And I feel like I might rush through it a little just so I can get an idea of what I want to do. That is the creative process, especially for scatterbrained people like me. Speaking of creative process, I have over the past, like 5-6 days now, got really focused on audio stuff. It's all for, I've like mentioned in passing a couple of times, but it's all for a project that I'm working on in the future. All related to this, all related to streaming, but for now it'll stay a mystery because I don't know when it'll be done. I don't know how much I want to talk about it yet. But I am working pretty hard on it, quite a bit, and I'm working with audio files a lot. I mentioned on my chatting stream last week, like the whole loudness war thing, and that's why, because I've been working with audio files so extensively, and it's interesting to see that. But anyway, it genuinely amazes me when I work on stuff like that. It amazes me how much fun I have doing it. Like I always get really fixated on stuff, especially when it comes to creative endeavors. Always, like I'll have no motivation for things, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, this seems like a good idea, and then 20 hours later, you find me like hunched over, going, I just need to finish this, like a goblin in my room. But for music and audio and anything like that, it's not just hyperfixation, it's like full-on dedication. And when I have an idea in mind, I get set on it, and I just go full force. So the project that I'm working on, as I've been going along, step by step, it's not small, I tell you that. But I'm working with a lot of audio files and mixing and making sure that levels are nice. And I don't know, I just find so much enjoyment in that for some strange reason. I've always said I've been a huge fan of music, but oh, hello, zombie. I've always said I've been a huge fan of music, and that is true. But apparently I'm as big of a fan of the audio side of the whole deal as I am the actual musical side of things. Which is always a good thing. I've always wanted to get good at mixing and mastering. Like the whole production side of music is one thing. It's its own beast. I swear it is sometimes kind of a mess. The amount of ideas that you throw around until you like either write them down or record them or whatever. It can get really taxing. But the mixing and mastering side, that's when you turn your silver into gold, as I'd like to say. Truly. Because like anyone can grab a musical instrument, like let's say, I don't know, for ease, a guitar, right? And you can play some fun riffs or a nice little acoustic piece or whatever you'd like. And you can throw it down and record it and have it sound really good and show off your skills and yada yada. But the issue comes when you actually like listen back to it through either a different device or just with like different volume settings, and you realize, hey, the high end is like ridiculous on that recording, or this sounds like it was recorded about 10 feet away, or things like that. And it can be a pain. It can be a pain to listen to that. I have nothing wrong with people who like intentionally mix music to sound garagey. I know there's an aesthetic to it for sure. What is it? That one Metallica album, Saint Anger, which I know a lot of people hate, and it's kind of justified because it's kind of a mess. But that album is like well known for having terrible production, and that was kind of on purpose because it's supposed to be raw. And like I have no problem with that, as long as the music's good. But I do prefer good production over bad production. Like not what I mean by that is I prefer production that is thought out and like properly planned, regardless of how it sounds, rather than just kind of slapping things together and saying, yeah, that's good enough. Like intentionally making, hey, good to see you again. Like intentionally having meh production is kind of all over the place in my opinion. But that's just audiophile things. I don't know. I like I said, I really want to get good at like mixing and mastering. I've always wanted to. It's tough though. It really is. There's more. It's a full-on science. I knew a mixer back in the day. He worked essentially as like a gig mixer, where he was, you know the old trope of like people standing in front of their soundboards and they move the dials up and down, and then they just sit and chill for the rest of the concert. That was pretty much him. But in essence, I don't know. I think that he knew what he was doing regardless of how simple it looked, because there is a certain special sauce when it comes to mixing, especially with like multi-instrumental big band stuff. Even like rock bands and like pop bands sometimes, especially if there's different timbres to each of the instruments. Even orchestras, there is a very important way that things are set up so that it all sounds a certain way. And music is subjective, of course. Everyone has their own opinion on what sounds good and what sounds bad. But I think most can agree that having some degree of good production does benefit. Whereas having, like, horrible production, you'll get some people to enjoy it, but not as much. But again, it's subjective, so what you enjoy, what someone's trash might be someone else's treasure. It's all just... Music is all about, like, how it feels, right? That's my stance. I've heard music from artists who I kind of don't really care for, but either their lyricism or their, like, general catchiness is beyond good. So honestly, like, sometimes a song might be great and you just don't like the rest of the music because that one song just speaks to you. And in essence, if it's got good production, that gives it just a little bit of edge. Okay, so these farms, I don't mind them being here, but they're taking up real estate. So maybe I should, like, I don't know, this definitely is some kind of step. STEPPE. So maybe I can terraform this a little bit and then, like, you know the rolling hills with the wheat fields or the rice paddies on them? That might be a good idea. I have enough wood for it too, I think, because I cleared out a lot of these trees. Do I have to clear out any more? I don't think I do. No, I think we're okay. Let's double check. The one kind of sucky part about clearing out trees is if it's connected to another set of trees, the leaves tend to never go away. Always kind of a mess. I have enough saplings to, like, plant an entire forest now, though. Deep trees. Could you even carry... I don't think you could even carry that many saplings. I don't know. Let's do the math. What is... You have rows of 9. The 9 times 3 is 27. 64 times 27, that's 42 plus... Oh, no, 4 times 7 is 28. Plus 6 times 2. Sorry, mental math, it's been a while. Yeah, I don't even know the number. I can probably solve it if I think a little bit harder. But yeah, that is definitely not 20 million. What is that? Hold on. Oh, it's like, what is it, 1228? Yeah, no. No way. I'm not even counting the hotbar, but that's not even close. I wonder how many stacks of each item you'd need for 20 million. It would be an absurdly high number. Because putting even 27 in a 20 million, it's like dividing 10 by 2. Actually, no, that's a horrible example. That's like dividing 100 by 2. You might be taking out a chunk, but it's a not really that sizable of a chunk compared to the magnitude of the number itself. That's still not a great example, but you get my idea. All right. Yeah, so let me try that rice paddy idea. I think that'll look good. First, I have to kindly move the villager's farm over slightly. You know, being a good Samaritan and shifting things over ever so slightly. Oh, my inventory's full. Pardon me. Man, there's a million arguments these days about, like, increased inventory sizes in video games. Man, allow Minecraft Steve to carry even more than he's physically able to. Come on, Mojang, you can do it. Yeah, I need to throw some of this stuff away. Wow. Let's put the saplings away. I forgot about the mangrove to blow up. Why do you still have a furnace? Why do I still have rotten flesh? All right, I think that's good enough. It's gonna be weird to not have these farms out front because I've had them for a while. I did not plant these. I planted that one, but I did not plant these. I could probably organize these better too. And there's pumpkins out back as well. I swear, agriculture in Minecraft is always both effective and aesthetically pleasing. Like, standard livestock farming is probably better overall, both for resources and, like, food saturation, but I don't know. Isn't, what is it, carrots, like, the most effective? Golden carrots. Isn't golden carrots one of the most effective food types that is, like, easily available? Something like that. I don't know, that's what one of my friends told me on an old Minecraft server. I listened to him, and I found quite a lot of use in those golden carrots. But that was back when we were, like, stupid rich. We had a piglin gold farm. We had, like, literally two Enderman farms, because the first one wasn't actually effective enough at grinding out XP, which, when you need to make a second Enderman farm because your first Enderman farm doesn't give you enough XP, you know you're at, like, super endgame. Not like Psycraft level, but we were very far. Wait, is that a water source that... Huh. Look at that buggy water source. Fun. Right, is that the last farm I need to... Oh, there's one over here, too. Oh, is that the last one? No, there's two. There's two farms I have to get rid of. Man, these villagers must simultaneously... No, they probably just hate me. I don't think they simultaneously like and hate me. I think they just hate me at this point. Honestly, good hindsight on me for making the house smaller because I still don't know what to fill it with. Ah, Minecraft, a game where there's literally so many ideas that you almost get sidetracked every 5 seconds and then can't figure out what you want to do. Also, dang, these villagers, man, are very successful. Because there's 1, 2, I think there's a third one up here. Yeah, 3, 4, like a patch. 5, I think 6 over in that ravine, and then 7, 8 behind me. Absolutely skilled farmers, I guess. Well, when you're out on the savannah, because this is a savannah into what looks like a forest. When you're out this far, it seems like the only thing you realistically can do. Again, I don't know much about ecosystems. I only took biology in high school, so that was my, like, only introduction to that sort of thing. But I would assume that savannas are quite open, and it's sometimes pretty hard to get livestock out in somewhat arid areas. I feel like that would make sense. Animals are just as susceptible to temperature changes as we are. Yet again, I rotate back to weather completely unintentionally. Oh, I should probably throw some of these into the composter now that I'm thinking. Yeah, let's do that. Marginally less boring than fishing. Marginally. Honestly, I'm very glad that wheat gives you so many wheat seeds back because you can do a lot with them, but it just fills your inventory to the brim. It really does. There are some what is it, like, high-level industrial wheat farms that I've seen with, like, multiple layers and a ton of automation and like bounds and bounds of storage. And they like legitimately take the seeds and I think they split them into like a quarter so that 3/4 goes directly to composters and 1/4 goes into a chest so that you can replant, obviously. But that just goes to show how much wheat seeds you get from like simple farms like the ones that even the villagers have out here. And it's pretty funny, honestly. It's a little much, IMO. I just use IMO in an actual, like, sentence, speaking out loud and not texting. Please help me. Please, you know, at least I'm not as bad as to say, like, lol and lamau out loud genuinely. When you're doing it ironically, that's fun. That's funny. But, like, genuinely saying shorthand text speak out loud, kind of dumb. Kind of dumb. Speaking of that, I see a lot of, like, shorthand stuff with conversations online, and I'm seeing a lot more recently as I'm slowly, like, you know, trying to come out of my shell and talk with people to a degree. I'm still horrible at it. Don't get me wrong. Extremely introverted, aggressively shy, the list goes on. But I see a lot of conversations and people use what are they called? Verbal tics? I think they're called verbal tics. I don't know. I think that's a good way to describe them. And one of them I've been seeing a lot is what is it? The QAQ, the, like, ever so slightly crying face. At least that's what it looks like. But every time I read it, because the Q sound in English, well, not just in English, but it's as an English adjacent consonant sound. The closest approximate you can get to the letter Q making anything is like a K sound, like a K or a C. So every time I see QAQ used as a reaction or something, or like a tag at the end of a message, I always read it as cack. And I make myself giggle with that. Like, it's like, I feel really bad about that. Are you okay? Cack. It's just, again, no shade to people who do it. But it's just, that's how I see it. And it's not the only one that I see like that. There's a couple that I see literally rather than what they're supposed to be symbolized. I used to see the heart symbol as less than 3 for the longest time. Legitimately, not joking around. That was just because I was reading it as, you know, how I thought it was. But over time, I slowly stopped being stupid and realized that it was a heart. But it took some time. I don't know. You know that no, I saw it on Twitter. There was an image where it's just all stuff from, like, the late 1990s into the early 2000s, and it said too young to relate to millennials, but too old to relate to Zoomers. And that is honestly, like, the most true thing I've ever seen, because it had what was it? Jimmy Neutron, like a Game Boy Advance SP. What was it? A GameCube, and a couple other things from that era that, you know, we all grew up with, or at least I grew up with. And that just, I don't know, that just fits me to a T. Because I can't relate to the quote unquote 90s kids. Because, you know, I didn't grow up in the 90s. I didn't. But I can't relate to anyone who's, like, still in their teens. Because all the modern lingo, I cannot connect to. I mentioned this before, but, like, I have an issue with slang. I obviously have my own fair share of slang that I use pretty regularly outside of streaming. I don't really do it much on streaming because I like having at least some degree of clarity in what I say. But, you know, it'll pop in. It pops in occasionally when I warrant it. I don't use it as extensively as you might think, but I do, especially when I'm moderately unhinged or just having a good time. But anyway, the point is that, like, all the modern slang and modern terms are just completely. Did I break another axe? No, it's right here. Are just completely alien to me. I would love to understand them one day. Not use them because I just don't feel the need to. But I would love to at least have some degree of understanding of what people are saying. And not all of the slang that's used is a short form for stuff. Some of it tends to be like innuendo or thinly veiled insults or other things like that, and that's stuff that I'm good. I don't need to learn. But the slang terms either that are directed from what is it? Like musical artists or memes or like short form text conversations or stuff like that. I can't get behind. I don't know enough. I don't know the context. I don't know where it's coming from. It just feels weird. But I've been on the internet long enough to like understand why it exists and why people use certain terminology and all that sort of thing. But that's sort of besides the point. It's all a learning process. I think I cleared out. Did I clear out all of the patches? I got this one. I got that one. Oh, this one here. Honestly, I might leave this one. Maybe not. We'll see. I'll leave this side alone for the time being. I do want to get that rice paddy rolling hills kind of look though, so where should I do it? Actually might want to flatten this out just a hair. Not excessively, but oh, this house is actually in a really nice spot, all things considered. Yeah, I'll put it right next to this house. Let's clear out this layer here. Have I ever mentioned how much time I accidentally dedicate to terraforming sometimes? As anyone who has ever designed like big structures or plotted out areas of land before, it takes a surprising, like even with a fully enchanted diamond shovel, which I don't have right now, it takes a long time to dig out a patch of dirt to like properly plan out a building or structure. Building a landmass to work with is one thing, but like tearing one apart can take such a long time. Even caving takes forever occasionally. I remember a very, very long time ago. Might have been on Xbox Minecraft. Yeah, back when Minecraft launched on Xbox in 2012. I remember I dug out a massive patch of cobblestone underground in like a cube shape. I don't remember. I think I repurposed it later, but I had just dug it out because I wanted an excessive amount of cobblestone. And I ended up building. I watched a tutorial, of course, because especially when you're younger, it's hard to come up with your ideas on your own unless you're a savant or insanely talented. But I watched a tutorial on how to make a castle, and the amount of terrain flattening I had to do to make room for it took like 7 or 8 hours just to flatten the area out. I know, sounds ridiculous, but it was a pretty big castle. I think I had like a couple double chests of cobble, and even that wasn't enough. I had to go back and refill them. And then after I built the castle, it was like a double layered castle with parapets and proper towers and all these things and a gate and yada yada. But after I finished building the castle, I didn't put anything in it. I made it so big that I couldn't figure out what to stuff in it. So it just sat there as a structure, like taking up the skyline. And then I ended up using the area that I dug out as like my actual base. So like taking all that cobblestone, moving it outside, and building a castle out of it was completely pointless. But that's the struggles of a builder. You want to build big structures, and you want to make use of them. But sometimes you build them so big that you can't figure out what exactly you were planning on doing with it in the first place. Okay, so I want to flatten this out quickly. Oh, I can probably just step on the farmland, honestly. Oh, that grew in really fast. Once I cover all this up, I'm going to probably repurpose blocks a little bit here. And then we're going to try to do that rice paddy design thing. I think that'll look really good. There was, on an older server, one of my other friends, he's the local redstone guy. He makes redstone contraptions and then proceeds to build a mansion on top of a hill. You know, as a normal Minecraft person would do. A totally normal Minecraft player. But that was his MO, was like, I'm gonna industrialize this part of the map and then proceed to build a massive architectural project on the hill right next to it. And what he ended up like making out of it was he made an iron farm, like an iron golem farm, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and then just surrounded it with like acres of wheat, and it looked so nice, especially when they were all fully grown. Even partway through the growing, I honestly wish that like you could stop wheat from growing. I know it's kind of a stupid idea, but I honestly wish you could stop wheat from growing on like a non-cheat based Minecraft server, just purely for aesthetic reasons. I know that on cheat servers you can make you can turn the tick's feet off just completely, so that way that plants just don't grow, and then you can sort of randomize like which ones are grown and which ones are not grown. But I feel like it would be so cool to do something like that. Probably want to dig out this patch too. Just flatten it a little more. There's so many little tidbits in Minecraft that I'm just not aware of. Like I've picked up a lot of stuff over the years of playing, but apparently I haven't picked up that much. Because there's so many little like tidbits and details and tactics that you can use to make your builds look more realistic and more fleshed out. The thing that I have absolutely no familiarity with, because I just never think to do anything with it, is furniture. I always struggle with furniture every single time. I have no idea why. Because sometimes I am full on inventory again. Because sometimes it's really easy to do furniture. Honestly, you just throw a stair down, put 2 signs on it, and say, "Hey, that's a chair." But I don't know. I always struggle to come up with good ideas. Like I said, I make big things, and I always can't figure out what I want to stuff in them. Which is why I try to downsize a little bit. Or if I don't downsize, like section stuff off. I don't know. Like much like anything creative, I say this a lot, but much like anything creative, it's always a learning process, and there's always something new. Even in this block game. Speaking of learning stuff from people online, I don't know how much I talked about this before, but I don't watch Minecraft YouTube all that much. I know that it's like extremely popular these days. I think I mentioned like how little I like the like overexcited, like over exaggerated content creator aesthetic. It just feels like people are trying too hard. But it's especially true with Minecraft stuff. Again, no fault to people who enjoy that sort of content, but I do get. Hey, good to see you too. Just rambling about random nonsense and trying to renovate a village. was it? Right. I don't know, like, Minecraft content on YouTube is in one of two fields. Genuinely entertaining, genuinely fun content from people who know what they're doing and are either good storytellers or know how to do challenges and things. Yeah, exactly. And then people who are like, I did this thing in front of my chat, and everyone in the SMP really fell for it, and then it's like 15 minutes of build up for like 2 minutes of payoff. And it's just like, eh. I'm never into that sort of stuff. SMPs though are somewhat interesting. It just depends on how they're executed. The random interactions with multiple people always gets a laugh out of me. But like the planned bits where people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna hunt this guy down," and then, "Oh, you'll fall for my trap," like stuff like that. Dude, it's so scripted. I'm watching a sitcom. It's Minecraft, my guy. But again, no fault to people who enjoy that sort of stuff, because everything has an audience. Right, let me see how this looks. I need to round this out some. Natural terrain is so hard to get right. It always looks boxy in one spot, and I hate when it looks like that. Let me refill this whole bit here. Oh. Yeah, I don't want any overhang. That looks gross. There we go. All right, that looks way better. How we doing? That looks decent. I need to figure out a spot to, like, start the actual... oh, I didn't realize I grew trees. Oh, crap. Wait, when did I fill this in? When did I fill that section in? Might have done it earlier and just not paid attention. Also, this jungle tree, I'm definitely going to have to move at one point. Oh, right. I need to smooth this out some. Oh, gosh. Why do I always set myself up with projects that I never know what's gonna happen? That, I swear, man. The number of time... Because, I don't know, like, my friends and I are very inconsistent with Minecraft. We'll get extremely dedicated 1 month and then just completely burn out the next. And the number of times that we've started a Minecraft server as a collective group, and I've gone on and, like, made a massive project that took, like, a month to do, and then the server just gets put on a back burner. Oh, it's, like, so much. It's so many times. It's happened so much that, depending on, like, depending on when we make servers, everyone goes, oh, yeah, you're just gonna come in and, like, build a huge thing again, right? And the last server, I learned my lesson. I said, no, not this time. Not this time. And I still built something big. So I didn't learn shit. And now that I'm on my lonesome, I am self-directed. I got my own plans. And okay, it has rained twice. It has rained twice since I started streaming. Why is reality being reflected in my Minecraft world? Next it's gonna start snowing aggressively. Ugh. Alright. Look at that cat, man. I really need to name these pets. I need name tags. But they're such an annoying find sometimes. I can get them from librarians, and I probably will set up the trading village one of these days. But that is a project for another day. One thing at a time. I also still have to go to the Nether. Hopefully it's not nightmarish. I hate when the Nether sucks. The Nether just always kind of sucks. There's no avoiding that. But I hate when the Nether generation is, like, so aggressively bad that it takes you 6 years to find a, what's it called? To find like a bastion or a nether fortress or, you know, anything useful that isn't a soul sand valley or a basalt delta for the 60,000th time. At least the end cities, it's all kind of the same until you actually find one. With the nether, nope, have fun. And I'm sitting here like, oh, please, I just require piglins or something that's not netherrack. There was one time I remember I built a nether portal. This was on a single player, I think. Yeah, I built a nether portal and it landed me at the bottom of a pillar of a nether fortress with like a blaze spawner right in front of me. And that was my favorite thing. Okay, hello. I may have not physically reacted to that one, but my heart was in my throat on that. I think I luckily was distracted by myself to where I didn't get spooked. But once I realized what was up, that almost sucked. This game is scary. People are like, oh, Minecraft's a game for kids. No, it's not. No, it is not. It is scary. Sure, your kid's a creeper. It's like, sneak up on your kids like a creeper from Minecraft and see how much for kids this game is. Genuinely. I mean, don't actually do that. That's horrible parenting. But you get my point. What was I talking about? I got very oh, right. Yeah, it spawned me at like the bottom of a pillar and there was a blaze spawner right in front of me. That was such a good spawn. Sometimes the world gen is nice to me. Most of the time it's not. Most of the time. This one was nice though. I'm almost out of dirt. I gotta dig more. Imagine running out of dirt. Terraformers be like. Oh yeah, did anyone see the... Because I tweeted about it because it just updated. Did anyone see the new Twitter rollout that they did? It just updated for me. And it essentially takes that one setting, because I figured it out after like complaining about it for a second. It takes that one setting at the top, I think it was at the top right. I never used it. But it takes that one Twitter setting that was at the top right where you could switch between like more curated tweets and specifically who you're following. And they just took that and made it so that it has direct tabs on your homepage. Which at first I was like, Twitter, please stop redesigning stuff on the fly while I'm using it. But then after a second I was like, wait, is this just consolidating the two tabs to be easier to access? And I actually kind of like it. Allows me to see updates from people that I'm following so I don't miss out on stuff. I noticed that I used to go with the the system where you see whatever tweets are directly recommended to you. So it could be anything from like 12 hours ago to 33 seconds ago. And it was just kind of random how it dispersed stuff. But I would use that because I feel like it would show me more stuff that I wouldn't see on just the followers list. It was effective. It's effective for like discovery stuff because other people's likes and retweets show up on that one, and occasionally like topics that you can follow and stuff like that. But I didn't use the follower one, and I would often miss direct updates from people because when a tweet goes live, like unless you have notifications on, it can just fall directly into the ether sometimes. And like seeing it on the following page, I didn't realize how useful that was, and now that it's like right in my face, hey, I can doom scroll a bit more. I use doom scrolling in jest. I know it's more of a negative thing, but you get the idea. Sometimes it's just fun to scroll through Twitter when you're not exposed to the random nonsense that people like to throw around. But that's the internet for you. When you expect the good, sometimes you will be handed the bad. Wait, whose house is this? Hold on. He's got some insane architecture. Oh, there's bread in here. Oh, and a compass? I didn't even loot this guy. Oh, a cartographer. He's a good trade. Ow. Wonder if I should make this whole thing wheat or just the sections. I like how I terraformed this so far. I might want to expand it out just a bit more though. How much more dirt do I have? Let me go investigate. Kind of throw stuff randomly. Like I said, I need to reorganize the chests. I've been just sort of throwing stuff in randomly because I've been doing different stuff. Oh. Let's see. Dirt. I have a grass block. Oh, great. 13. That's going to be really helpful. I should make a path coming out of this too. Maybe connect it up to this. Yeah, let's do that quick. That's going to be easy. Widen out by 2, shift it over a little bit, make it so it's weird looking, and this shovel's about to break. There's so many little nuanced things, especially when it comes to like some pseudo-natural generation. Move this over here like this, and then link it back. That looks okay. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it looks decent. It's not perfect. Might be a little too smooth. Yeah, that might actually be a little too smooth. I'll fix it later. I'm gonna start the rice paddy on this side, I think. Ooh. I can make it so it goes right along the edge of the path here. That might look great. Yeah, so this path loops around. That looks okay. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah, it looks decent. I can extend what I have here actually up that way. Do I have to go the whole way though? I want to increase. Oh wait, why is this all path blocks? I don't want this to be path blocks. Why is this all path blocks? Who's building a path on the side of this hill? What are they, villagers or mountain goats? Honestly, who knows? Missed opportunity for Mojang to not make like animal-based villagers. I know it would be completely against the idea of like what villagers are, but dude, what do you want to see? Like, I don't know, like goat villagers or wolf villagers or something like that. I feel like that would be really cool. I'm sure there's mods for it. Honestly, what aren't there mods for this day and age? There were some mods back in the day that I'm kind of sad aren't a thing anymore though. Like the more TNT mod. I don't know, maybe some of them have been remastered, but there was a mod back in the day where you could make like 50 plus different kinds of TNT that all had different functions. That was so cool, especially when I was a kid. More creeps. Ah, yeah, I remember that one too. Also the what was it, the gray goo, where you place a block. I think that's how we got the creep. or the Skulk. I think it's called the Skulk. Was from inspired by that Grey Goose stuff. There was also, what was it called? It was a mod based on Elemental Creepers. Yeah, that one. Oh my god, I remember Elemental Creepers. That was such. Oh my god, that was so old school. But there was another one. What was I thinking about? There was another one that turned Minecraft into a visual novel, and you know those designs for all the Minecraft mobs, like the older anime styled ones. People still recognize them if you show up, but like they turned that into a sort of like pseudo VN style where you could like talk to the mobs. Yeah. I know that the more common ones today are made by, what is it, Dango Heart? I think that's the artist's name. Which, great artist, by the way. Go watch their stuff. But the old designs, like there was a visual novel thing. Yeah, the Creeper Girl. Yes, exactly. But they made a mod about that. And I remember I played it once or twice just to test it. It was fun. Kind of pointless in hindsight, but yeah, there's a mod for everything. Modern mods though will go hard, I swear. There's some stuff that people have figured out how to do with this game. All the multi-dimensional stuff too is actually insane. I do miss the ether though. There's been multiple revival projects for that thing, but you'll never really regain that classic, like, oh, it's the Nether but in the sky and there's dungeons and bosses and really cool like world and building stuff, and you make the portal out of glowstone and water, and there's a bunch of memes about people trying to do it now and not being able to do it because it doesn't exist. But I do miss that. Pre like Renaissance Minecraft. Pixelmon! Yes, agreed, 100%. They made that so good over time. It was kind of basic to begin with, and now it's like fully fleshed out. It's so good. There's full-on servers dedicated to Pixelmon these days. I was actually on one a long time ago. Well, by a long time ago, I mean like 6 or 7 months, but still. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that is like the entire reason why, well, not the entire reason, but it's a very, very good reason why Minecraft is still played as much as it is today. I think that's just a trope with most games. If you have a robust modding community, Kingdoms mod, I actually don't remember that one. You caught me on that one. I actually don't know that one. But as I was saying, like, most of like games nowadays with robust modding communities last for far, far longer than if they're like if they don't have mods. Logs and cobble for that mod. I can imagine. I don't know, any mod that's extra grindy, you have to really have a definite reason for it. Because I brought up Cookie Clicker a few times these days because it's just my most adjacent example for making a number go bigger. But I don't know, there's some mods I just hate that. There was one where you could make, it was before they incorporated villagers, but you could like collect resources and like make proper like village people who could build houses for you and then trade with them and like properly build a themed village. I wonder whatever happened to that one. I don't remember the exact name. That was kind of grindy. I remember that. It was like, oh, you have to get this specific kind of log, and like if it was a themed village like the Eastern village, it was like, oh, you have to get paper and this specific kind of wood and these things. And everything was themed. Minecraft Comes Alive made the villagers actually have lives? I don't know that one either. I knew a lot of the big ones, but I must have skipped some. It's also been, for some of them, like a decade. So my memory is quite hazy. My memory is just generally hazy. But I remember there were so many, like pre quote unquote revival. There were so many Minecraft quote unquote content creators who like absolutely grew their channels by just reviewing mods all the time. I used to follow a lot of them for that. And when they started doing more variety stuff, I was down. Felt like a genius. Yeah. There is a certain level of like, oh man, I actually did it when you properly mod a video game, even if it's minor. It was kind of a hassle though, for a long time. Because there wasn't like a dedicated modding system. We didn't have CurseForge, we especially didn't have Fabric. And you had to just either get jar files or the entire, yeah, exactly. You used to have to get entire jar files or like the full zip or rar or an entire batch and throw it into a folder like in the back rooms of the Minecraft, like .minecraft folder. And if your mods were incompatible, you had to figure out like what files were wrong and like where it was going. 7-zips to your best friend. I use WinRAR personally. I used to use 7-zip a ton though, don't get me wrong. Especially for Minecraft stuff. But yeah, it would like, honestly, in a weirdly backwards way, I think I learned a lot of my computer savviness by just dicking around with Minecraft files. It's still, honestly, not to throw shade at people, but it still amazes me to this day that we live in an information age, and people still struggle with computers. App data could be tattooed on your brain. Mine too. I still use %app data% occasionally. That is a classical command for modding. If you want to get into the Minecraft folder, just type %app data%. And then you'll be in the .minecraft directory if you go to local roaming. I remember those old, like, 2012, 2014. Here's how you mod this thing. But yeah, like, we live in an information age, and I'm amazed at the amount of people who still have trouble with understanding like computer files. I get it. It's not intuitive. There's still a lot of jargon and a lot of like directories and file types and all these things. But still, they need to like teach that in schools more, man. Because the amount of like file nonsense that we deal with on a daily basis nowadays, especially when it comes to people who are chronically online, especially me. Like having some degree of computer savviness definitely helps. Then again, not everyone is on a computer all the time. Some people are on a mobile phone for most of their existence. I think more people own mobile phones than they own computers. So, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked. All right. I think I've terraformed this to a degree that I like. I might want to flatten this out a little bit more. Yeah, let's flatten this out just a hair bit more. I'm never happy with the way that things look until I'm happy with the way things look. Honestly, after the amount of like mods that I've seen these days and playing some and not playing some and seeing how much you can do with Minecraft, I still return to vanilla so much that I don't know. It's just if someone says, "Hey, we're doing a Minecraft server with a couple mods," the question is not like, "Oh, what mods are they?" Hardcore, yeah. Hardcore though, I'm terrified because I don't like losing progress on anything. I always get terrified of that. Yeah, true. But like if someone's always like, "Hey, we're doing a Minecraft server with mods," My question's not, oh, what mods? My question is always, how many? Because, like, Minecraft with 5 or 6 mods, especially if they're QOL stuff or adding new dimensions, yeah, I can gel with that. But if it's like 50 plus mods, like RL Craft and redesigning how the game works from the ground up, where I have to punch stone to get like pebbles to make tools, like I don't want to do that. I still want to play Minecraft. I don't want to play Ark. I can go play Ark. I've never played Ark. But it is a mod for everybody. Hardcore, though. Like I said, hardcore scares me. I've mentioned a couple times. I like playing Minecraft, and I like building in Minecraft, but I'm not exactly good at Minecraft. Especially the whole beating the game and being good at combat things. I know it's not a hard game by any means, but I think it is at sometimes. And hardcore worlds, I don't like the idea. I know you can like back up saves, but that's kind of cheating. I don't like the idea of putting so much time into a world and then watching it all die in front of you by falling off a ledge like an idiot. Yeah, Ether and Twilight Forest. Twilight Forest was the other one I was thinking of that I couldn't think of the dimension name. But all I can think of when I think of like hardcore Minecraft is what was his name? Filza. He got famous off of hardcore Minecraft because he died to a baby zombie in a cave, and it ended his like 5-year hardcore run or something like that. And I always think of that, like, you put 5 years of work into that, all for it to be taken away in an instant. And again, I understand. I understand that people like that sense of challenge and that constant thought of, oh, what if I lose it all? And it's stressful. Some people like that stress. I don't. I like saving stuff. I've had too many times where I've worked on projects, like for school and personal projects, and worked in art programs and audio programs and things like that, and either my computer crashes or the program crashes and I lose like hours of work and I sit there like, I hate it. So putting a ton of like creative effort and time into something and like having it taken away, I don't like it. To give you a non-Minecraft example of that, I've played Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal quite a couple of times. I like both of those games a lot. I love the gunplay. I love how fast-paced they are. I just really enjoy them. And I went back and beat them both on Nightmare difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty. And mind you, that almost turns it into a rage game with how hard it can be at points. Both of them. And then there's Ultra Nightmare difficulty, which is the same as Nightmare, but if you die even once, the whole run's over. And Doom 2016, at least, if you're good at it, you can run like 2.5 to 4 hours, and if you're not good, it can take you up to 6. And that is 6 hours of progress down the drain if you die. I know that there's an entire genre of games these days dedicated to losing everything by making one simple mistake. And it is fun to watch people play those games. But actually playing those games? Oh no. You want to see me tear the skin off of the right side of my face? That's what you do. Is you get me to play games like that. I'm eventually going to play games like that. Eventually. When I have the will. But it will take some time. Right now, I'm just enjoying not. But yeah. I appreciate the finality, and I appreciate the constant struggling until you achieve a goal. But I like saving my progress. That's just how I roll. I don't like this lip here. Hold on. Natural generation. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so we have some nice rolling hills. Fleshed out some. Let's see where I want to end this, though. That looks okay. Yeah, it looks okay, actually. All right. I built that iron hoe for a reason. Let's till some farmland. Oh, wait, before I do that, I might want to dig some holes, because, yeah. Should I make it patterned? Actually, let me... I need to make an edge here. Oh, wait. Is my inventory full? Oh, every time. Why do I have a fence? Oh, wait, no, I know why I have a fence. Because I broke that one block on the other side. Let me just plonk this down somewhere that no one cares. I shall use that later. All right, let's make a border here. I want to cut down that jungle tree, but I know if I do, I'll lose all the cocoa beans. Wait, hang on. Instead of doing this like a Neanderthal, let me do it like a slightly smarter Neanderthal. No, I'm not hopping up and down like, ooh, monkey. Let's stop it right about here. Add a nice little edge around the opposite side here. That should be okay. Yeah, that looks okay. Shovel for safety. Oops. And then I want to round this corner off. I love doing this. I really do. It's all minor little bits of effort, but when it all comes together in the end, I'm always really happy with the result. I very rarely am not happy with the result. That house I kind of threw together, so I want to add more to it. It looks okay, personally, but yeah, it can add. I can add. Dirt. Oops, wrong place. There we go. Dirt. All right. Let's start it. I think 2 blocks for the path will be fair. So let's do that. Oh, I forgot to add I forgot to add the water. I have to add holes for the water. So let's add one here. Let's add one here. And there. And over here. And right there. And over here. Right up here. Up, don't fall through the floor. Right there. Right there. And over here. Another one. Another one. Another one. I think that's good. I'll see exactly where the edges get to and then fill in accordingly. I need a bucket. Excuse me while I go make a bucket that I, for some reason, don't have. Or did I actually make one earlier? I might have. Right, potatoes. When did I place these? Oh, right, after that big trip that I had. Forgot about that. Hello, cat. You'll get a name tag someday, my friend. But for now, you are the cat. Do I have a... I do... Oh, I do have buckets. Wait, when did I get 2 lava buckets? On the trip that I had. Memory sucks, man. My memory is terrible. Right. Water. Probably could make an infinite water source, but running back and forth probably won't be too bad. Hello, villager. I'm renovating. Hope you will enjoy your new surroundings. I know I will. This is actually a completely new design choice for me. I don't know. when I do area design, I usually always make it like somewhat what's it called, rustic. That's the right word. I tend to put a medieval edge on a lot of stuff. I don't know, I just like how it looks. Always natural, always made out of wood. Has that certain like aesthetic to it. But right now I want to see if I can do like properly more what's it called? Old, like very old style. Like really old style. And then I'll renovate the village accordingly. These houses, I don't know if I'm going to keep them as is or not. We shall see. I might renovate. I'm planning on renovating this whole village over time. But some of the house designs are pretty decent by themselves. It's just going to depend on what ideas pop into my head. That's how most of this whole gig has gone so far. Hey, do I have an idea for a thing? Let me do it and dedicate all of my time to it. Oh, I'm done with it? All right, what now? Let me just snag this and fill that in. Yeah, that won't need water. What was that last hole? There you are. Oh, no, there's one more. Oh, wait, there's two more. Oops. I'll snag it from this one. Oh, and fill it in. Honestly, once that dries up, it'll patch itself over. And then one more for good measure. Oh, there's a path over here, too. Can I connect that up, maybe? Decisions. It's actually gonna look pretty nice once I till all this. Okay. Let's start from this edge and make our way back. I don't want to go too far up this hill. I do want to round it off slightly, so I'll start here. And then kind of round off this way. Oops. Oh, I need to add another one here. Oops. Hang on. That's the one. Well, there's multiple, but that's one of the downsides of tilling large areas of farmland is you have to really make sure all the water's in the right spot. That will cordon off this whole area over here, so I can not ignore it, but you know, not have to think about it when I'm designing the rest of the village. It adds character. Also, these, I'm gonna have to make quite a number of those. There's an achievement for, what is it, making a netherite hoe? Or is it making a netherite hoe or breaking a netherite hoe? Might be breaking a netherite hoe. Either way, serious dedication is right. Yeah, making. Okay. There used to be one, I think, for breaking a diamond hoe. And yeah, it is serious dedication if you do that. Unless you're doing what I'm doing, then it's necessary. Okay, so... Oh, that whole patch back there is not healthy, it looks like. I forget the exact area that water stretches to. It's decent. Oh, I have to adjust this now, because I made that too thick. Here we go. We're gonna place one here. And grab another water source. 5-block radius? Gotcha. It's hard to conceptualize that in the form of Minecraft blocks, though, because radius doesn't mean square, it means like diamond or circle shape. Thankfully, there's a website for that. I've started to get good at freehanding circles. Still not great, but I do have simultaneously great and terrible memory. And once I've done like a bunch of circles over and over and over and over and over again, I eventually remember, oh, it's like 2 and then 3 and then 2 and then 1 and then 4 and then 2. Sounds like I'm just randomly throwing out numbers, but it kind of is how you make circles. Oopsie. That looks okay. It's not supposed to look perfect. Oh, I gotta put another one. This corner looks okay. Oh. Thank you for the water source. Perfect. I'm gonna need to make another iron hoe here in a second. Is that far enough? I'm gonna have to put one in this corner too. So much water! Oh, there's more sources down here. I will have to get rid of this farm as well in a bit, because it doesn't need to exist there. Alright. Oops. Keep jumping like I'm in Super Mario. I'm not. I'm tilling farmland. Gonna be more careful. Let me make the outer edge first. Do I want it to go into the pit? No, I want it to come out this way though. Told ya. Back to make another hoe. I probably should carry a crafting table with me. Probably gonna have to make a couple more of these. I need more iron ingots. Got it. Wait, is that? No, that's just wheat. Sometimes I get thrown off by the texture pack that I'm using. I love this texture pack, though. I believe it is Faithful? Hold on. Resource packs. Yeah, it's Faithful. Always traditionally love this one because it makes Minecraft look like Minecraft still. It's not overly stylized. It hits the right amount of natural Minecraft with an updated look. And I've always appreciated that. I know people really, really like the overly realistic and overly stylized aesthetic. But I'd also like for my PC to not be able to cook an egg on its processor. So I make do with just normal, like slightly cleaner looking Minecraft. Because this game, even with all the updates, is still, what is it, 14 years old? Something like that. And it is starting to get on. I mean, it has an aesthetic that is technically timeless. But it is, you know, compared to its peers these days, it definitely looks its age. I don't know, just giving it a fresh coat of paint and the shader just gives it that little bit extra oomph. Vanilla Minecraft still looks great. Oh, did I not make that far enough over? Oops. We'll see how far across that goes. Again, it's supposed to be kind of it's supposed to be kind of indistinct. It's like if someone was just tilling farmland, as I am. Oopsie. Need to make another hole. Stop jumping like you're bee-hopping in a speed run. Actually causing detrimental damage to the surrounding area. There we go. I mention speedrun content a lot because it's probably my biggest example of taking a game to its limit. And Minecraft speedruns are wild. I'm not sure which I like more, honestly, the set seed or the random seed ones. I feel like random seed, purely because it's more of an RNG thing, and getting like that god run is its own battle. But I don't know, set seed is like playing a proper like story-based game where you know it's gonna where you know it's gonna happen. So you can not worry as much about like gambling for a good run and focus on like what is important and what you actually can improve on and like all these different things. I think the two biggest examples that I can think of, like, what I would put adjacent to like set speed is Mario 64 and Portal 1. Both of those games are completely linear. Well, Mario 64 you can do a lot with, but it's relatively linear, all things considered. And Portal 1 is very linear. And because of that, you can really focus on like what in the run needs to be done, and just really perfect like different movement techs and understanding of like room placements and puzzle solving and where enemies are, and especially in Mario 64, like how to just abuse the entire game to like skip half of it. I bring up Mario 64 like I'm talking about something that no one knows about. It is I think the #1 speedrunning game of all time, if not GoldenEye. That one's fun to watch. I know so little about 007 GoldenEye. Do I want those to be tilled farmland? Maybe I should dig this out. I don't know, I think speedrunning's cool. That's something that takes a lot of dedication. And it's also something that I don't think I would ever be able to properly do. Why is there a skeleton? Why have you decided to interrupt me while I'm tilling farmland? Ow. It's not very nice. Someone left the archery class and decided to become a bully. Oh, I need to add... No, I don't. I think I just stepped on that. That looks okay. That doesn't. Need to add a water here. I'm adding a lot of water sources. Wait, why is that one? Oh, I must have stepped on it. Every time. Call me Jump King, because I seem to hop all over the farmland I'm trying to till. I should play that at one point. Like I said, though, it is a rage game, and it is the entire purpose of it is to lose as much progress as you possibly can and rage and watch people laugh at you. But the victory at the end is all worth it. That's the wrong tool. I've seen people do Jump King in what, 5 minutes? seen people do getting over it in 5 minutes. And I stare at my screen like, how? One, how have you played this rage game to a point where you can perfect it? And B, how are you that good? It just freaks me out, man. And it's something that you look at, it's like, oh man, I want to learn that. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if beating the game is hard enough, imagine now beating the game on a time limit. It just seems scary. Oh, another hoe. I feel like I should widen this a little bit. It'll look good when it's done. I say that over and over, but I think so. I also need to fence in the village. Oh. See. Oh, I'm right. Hoe. I don't know how I'm gonna fence it in though. I could use fences. I could use cobblestone walls. Something that matches the general picture of it though. One thing at a time. These water sources. The worst part is, like, after I set all this up, I'm gonna have to wait for all the wheat to grow. Oops. Every time. There we go. I'll have to widen the left section out. Make sure that doesn't dry on me. Oops. Didn't want to actually place that there. Yep, that's good. I don't know why, I just thought to myself, I wonder how much easier this would be if I used World Edit, but that's so cheating. It would be like the Minecraft joke videos where people go, hey guys, I did some mining off stream, and it's like 80 diamond blocks, full set of armor. They went to the end, killed the Ender Dragon, have an Elytra. Started an SMP, finished the SMP, and then went to the bar with some friends and got some drinks. I wonder where that joke all started. I know it's mostly people making fun of people who do that, but I genuinely want to know who started the idea of like, hey guys, I did a bit of mining off stream and you make way too much progress for it to be even useful. Ow, my eye's burning. Been staring at a screen most of the day, probably why. Should probably get those, what are they called? Gunner glasses? Heard that those are very good, especially if you're chronically in front of screens. I have bad eyes too, so it's not helping. I've had bad eyes my whole life though. Well, not my whole life, but since like first grade in school. Something like that. I remember I was in class and it was a normal day. I think it was like sometime in the winter, maybe. Well, we weren't through the entire school year. I know that for a fact. But I remember I was staring at the blackboard, and I was having an issue. I couldn't read on it. And I mentioned that to the teacher. I was like, I can't read the board. And she was like, oh, you can't read the board? Are you okay? Do you have or something going on with your eyes? And I was like, I don't know. Mind you, I was very young. So I really didn't know what was going on. But I went to the eye doctor. I think it was the first time I ever visited the eye doctor. And he said, yeah, you have nearsightedness. You're going to need glasses. And I was like, glasses? And he put glasses on me for the very first time. And for the next, I'm going to say like 10 years, vision got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And as it stands right now, I have no problem like functioning on a daily basis. I'm very thankful for the invention of bifocals, or whatever you call it, like mono, like whatever single degree of focus is. I know that bifocals is a general term for like the dual focus lenses. Anyway, my vision is genuinely so bad that I have trouble seeing, what is it, 5 inches in front of my face? Hold on, quick conversion. That's about, sorry, doing quick math, like 13 centimeters? It's not like I can't see. It's not like I'm legally blind. Honestly, prayers go out to anyone who is legally blind. I would be in a very horrible disposition without my eyes. The hell? Oh, he's writing. But like, if fine detail fades after that distance, and it sucks sometimes. Especially during the time that my eyes were getting worse, because I kept staring at whatever board was in front of me, and you know eye strain when you use your eyes excessively, and it physically starts to hurt because you're either squinting too hard or just you're moving too much, and your eyes just stop liking you for what you're doing. I had that happen so often. Nowadays, I'm used to it, and like any prescriptions that I do have, it changes by less than a quarter of a degree every time. But it's still bad, so I live with it though. I've been asked for pretty much my whole like young adult and adult life. Are you gonna get LASIK? You should probably get LASIK surgery. You think that LASIK's a good idea? And I always go, honestly, I'm fine with glasses. I don't mind. I understand why people get LASIK. It's so that you don't have to wear glasses, but I've heard that it regresses after 10 years, and you have to wear glasses anyway. So my thought on that is, why waste your time? But again, I don't know enough about it. Never really thought to research it because I've never planned on getting it. Who knows, though? Did I step on... every time. I probably need another water source. Oh, and then I get to plant it and watch it grow, and it'll look so nice. After, like, a year of growing. I swear, tick speed is so slow in this game sometimes. Source right here. I could have probably planned out the water sources a bit better, but I don't plan, I do. That's how I play. All right, let's plant, and if I need to expand, I will. Expand. Back on the topic of eyes, though, I have used contacts. I know that a lot of people get wigged out by contacts, like, ew, you put a finger in your eye, but it really is not that bad. I haven't used them for like a solid year or two, though, because I got a scare a while back. If you don't know how contacts work, they essentially just go over the surface of your eye and adjust your the cornea of your eye so that your focal, like the point where your eye focuses the light to come in, is at the proper distance, so it actually gets, you know, the correct image focus to your retina. That's what glasses do. It's just directly contacting your eye. But I had disposable contacts, which they last for about a month, and then you take them out and you put new ones in. But I was a dumb little dumbass, and instead of, you know, swapping the contacts out, I would let them go until they started either stretching so far that I couldn't see, or physically hurting me, to where, like, you get eye strain. Yeah, contacts can cause you eye strain too if you let them expire. And I would also fall asleep with them in my eyes, because I don't know, I just got used to the fact that I had good vision, and I would fall asleep with contacts in, which is something you're not supposed to do, by the way. And I just got used to that. And at one point, my eye doctor, who I had for pretty much my entire life, up to about a year or two ago, he hired a new assistant who eventually is going to replace him. And she's more medically trained. Like, she's more modernly medically trained. Not to say that the old practices still don't have merit. They do. Like, we wouldn't have a lot of old practitioners in the field if, you know, old practices didn't work. But she knew a bit more about eyes than he did. And she looked at my eyes, and she did work with it. And she said, you have some of your blood vessels are growing out of your iris. And I said, what? What do you mean by that? And it's like, well, if you wear contacts for an extended period of time, the oxygen that normally gets to the surface of your eye can't get there. So your eye naturally adapts, and you start to develop, I think it's called vasculitis or something like that. That might be the wrong term. But essentially, the blood vessels in your eye grow out to better receive oxygen because they're getting suffocated by the contacts. And over time, they can grow more and more and slowly start to obscure your vision. And I said, well, how do I fix that? And of course, because I didn't want to say I did a dumb thing and slept with my contacts in for years and years, I lied and said, no, I've been doing a normal procedure. What's the best way to go about it? And she said, well, don't wear contacts for a bit and see if your eyes regress to a point where they return to where they are, and you should be fine. I mean, the damage is semi-permanent, so you have a little bit of vasculitis. I'm going to use vasculitis. I don't think that's the right term, but I'm going to keep using it. And from now on, you're going to have just a little bit of blood vessel growth in your eye, but as long as you stop it where it is, it's not going to get any worse. And I said, great! So I took the contacts out for like 2 weeks. And then I got used to the fact that I wasn't wearing contacts anymore. And I did that for a full year. This was, I think, pre-COVID around then. So I wasn't wearing my contacts for a full year until I went back to the eye doctor after everything started slowly opening up again. And when I did go back to the eye doctor, it was my old eye doctor again, because I requested to see him, and he was like, oh yeah, that whole thing, that just happens normally. And I went, really? That's just a normal part of the process? And he goes, yeah. Your eye naturally adapts to the fact that contact lenses suffocate your eyeballs. So you get just a little bit of blood vessel growth into your iris. And it's not detrimental. It's only detrimental if you keep doing it and let it get worse and worse. And my thought to that was, okay, so I just shouldn't go back to doing that old habit. But instead of, like going back to my contacts and using them normally and returning to how I was, I just decided, you know what? I like this whole glasses thing. And the only time I use contacts nowadays is if I need to use my eyes specifically for anything. Like I need no obstructions in front of my face, which is extremely rare. I had to do it to take registry pictures for a couple specific documents. I've done it when I want to play VR, because I own a VR headset back at home, which I do not have with me right now. I've done it for a couple things where I need either good facial recognition or things along those lines. But I really have not worn my contacts regularly since then, so that's sort of the story of how I stopped using contacts, and I really haven't looked back, and honestly, I don't mind. I have, stupidly though, managed to drop my contact, because I think I mentioned this before, I must have. I have a fold-out bed in my apartment right now, and it's not perfectly square at the wall because there's a plug behind it. And when I go to sleep at night, I don't have a nightstand, so I just place the... Oi, yeah, there's a skeleton somewhere. So I just place my glasses pretty much on the bed next to the pillow that I'm sleeping on. And I shift when I sleep. I'm pretty fidgety. I'm surprised at how still I am right now, actually, sitting in this chair. But I'm regularly pretty fidgety, especially when I sleep. So I will occasionally move stuff around, especially if it's right next to me. And I cannot tell you the number of times that either I've just woken up or I'm about to wake up, and I hear, which is me knocking my glasses on the floor. Ow! Oh, he's in the water, you smart little... skeletons. But it hasn't caused, thankfully, it hasn't caused any damage to my glasses. I know it might, but I got the no scratch lenses because I cause enough damage to them anyway. I used to work at well, I'm not gonna say the exact place, but I used to work as a dishwasher, and I constantly would splash my glasses with random shit. So having those non-scratch lenses was really good. But now that I don't work there, it has greatly improved my quality of life, but that's besides the point. Now that I don't work there, I don't scratch my glasses as much, but having the no scratch lenses was a huge benefit, especially in like weather conditions. But yeah, that's sort of the gist of like why I need to keep an eye on my glasses sometimes. Speaking of glasses, still on this topic, because I don't know, I think it's interesting. With the whole everybody spent a very long time, especially out and about. A couple countries still do it. Like I'm in Japan right now, and we still do it. Everyone usually wears masks in public. It's honestly to keep safe, and I do recommend it because even if you are not sick, if someone else is sick, they should be wearing a mask to protect themselves and to protect you from them. Just how I think about that. But point aside, the issue I always found with it, especially in cold weather like now, is when you breathe with the darn thing. If you're wearing glasses, it fogs them up so bad. And I told this story back when it happened. It's roughly a month ago, the first time it really snowed while I was here. But I take a pretty long walking trip to the local market so I can buy food, and it was snowing bad. I did not check the weather. I was not prepared. And I went outside and oh great, it's snowing. And if you've ever played, I've trust me, this is like the most neurotic reference, but it stuck with me ever since I played it a long time ago. In the intro sequence of Dead Space 3, you are playing as a soldier on Tal Volantis, which is a frozen planet. And at the very beginning of the whole deal, you're in a blizzard with this hand out, and like you can't see jack diddly squat. But anytime I'm in a very, very bad snowstorm, or if it's really cold and I can't see through my glasses, I always think of that scene. It's a huge over-exaggeration. But I always think of that scene of like, oh, I can't see, and it reminds me of that blizzard. But yeah, I could not see that day. I still made it. I got back, but I was pissed. Because I spent all that time outside completely unable to see. Alright, enough about glasses. Enough about sight. I know a lot of people these days have bad vision. I've heard that it is actually caused by either not going outside or staring at a screen all day. Which, hey, I do both of those things. By I do both of those things, I mean I do not go outside. Well, I mean, there's really no reason to right now. The weather's so crappy. Though when spring comes... Oh, why are you still here, you stupid green thing? Oh, great. Why did he explode? He wasn't even that close to me. Whatever. I can fill this hole in now. But yeah, when the weather gets nice, it's always a good time to go outside. For those who are unaware, the fiscal year, which is essentially when businesses restart and people get hired and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah, starts in April. April 1st, specifically in Japan, which is also when the school year starts. And a lot of people cite April as the month where you really make a new start for stuff. Like, New Year's is its own thing. New Year's is the start to the new year, and resolutions and making plans and all these things. But for people here, at least, April 1st is like when you really restart stuff. So when April 1st comes around, well, I'll probably start going outside in March more frequently. Instead of just going to the store, I'll probably like go out, hang out with some friends, go to some fun places. I got a couple months here still. Not a couple, several. But yeah, when April comes along, that's like a new beginning for stuff. And the entire month of April into May is cherry blossom season, so that will be really nice. It's coming along. I probably should start fencing this in. Do I have enough acacia? Let me go double check. Oh, it's not acacia, it's birch. It's birch to fence. I can't speak. Birch to fence this all in. Unless I don't want to copy the house. You'll have to copy the house. Or do I want to fence this in with like cobble? Let me look at the houses and see what the general aesthetic is. It looks like it is acacia logs and... Yeah, it's acacia logs and acacia fences. So I think I'll use acacia. Acacia. It is a weird wood type. I don't hate it, but it is orange. I mean, I like the color orange, obviously. Wouldn't have made myself look like I do if I didn't. Also, orange bed, didn't even realize. But it is orange. And orange is a very tricky color to get right. Do I have any? Oh, there they are. Oh, I'm sorry. Sit. So not to say that the acacia logs don't look decent, but there are other wood types that I personally think look just a hair bit better. Why do I have raw salmon? And let me feed my cat. There you go. I have a full set of gold armor and 2 gold apples from that adventure the other day. Moving up in the world, and by that I mean, sure. I don't know what you'd even call that. I'm going to need a lot of wood. I did not realize how much wood I'm going to need for this. Alright, let's start by... Do I have slabs? Oh, I don't have slabs. Hang on. Because I have a really nice idea for this, this outer rim here. Oh, no, I do have slabs. Perfect. See, this is why we accidentally create extras. Where is it? There you are. So I'm going to start this right there. Yeah, that'll look really nice. And every like 20 or so, let's do by a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 20. Bop, bop, bop. Oh boy, time to count multiple times to 20. Uh, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh no, I don't want that to connect to this block. Wrong thing. It's gonna be a bit of a sharp line, but I can fix it. I can also expand the, I want to call it a rice paddy, but it really is not. It's a wheat field. I can extend that out some. 3, 4, 5, 6, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Not gonna be perfect. I can place torches on these too. And it's getting to be nighttime again. Ah, crap. Let me smooth this out some so it doesn't look terrible. That way I can actually build fences up here too. Did I mention I used to play Minecraft on Moody for some strange reason? I don't know, I thought it looked better. It really does not, especially when you're caving. You just can't see. And that's the long and short of it. Like, you might be going for the aesthetic, but you physically cannot see. And in a cave environment, oh man, do you need to see. Wow, we already have some growing. Ow. Yeah, random tick speed is something. Some of this here. Gotta hit the hay so I can see better. Once I do half, I think doing the other side won't be nearly as bad. It'll just be planning out where the exterior goes. I actually might want to keep this tree here, all things considered. It does look nice. Sometimes random placement is better than planning. 5, 6, 7, 12, 13. Let's place it. That wasn't on purpose. Place it right here. Where's my slabs? Return the slab. Or not place it in the right spot. There we go. I also need to adjust this corner here because it looks mountainous. Oh, is there like a cave? Nope. That is just a cut-in. Oh, what a shame. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Silent counting. One thing I cannot do, it is just impossible, is count and say words at any point during the counting, because then I have to just completely reset. Okay, that's 20. I'm not horrible at multitasking. I seem to get a lot done while just randomly talking, but I cannot count and talk at the same time. Put that one on the record. Cannot count and talk at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Counting out loud does help though. 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. Fuck, never mind. 15. I'm gonna call that 20. It's probably 19. But I don't care. Doesn't have to be perfect. Meanwhile, let me fill in this bit. I thought I was gonna do something with the ravine, and I might still. But for now, just to border the... Why does that still have... Oh, that's right! If it still has plants on it, it doesn't care, it just stays. Didn't realize that. Actually, no. I did realize that. Yeah, that's how, like, when you're working with very limited materials on, like, super flat, if you don't have water for some reason, that's how you can make do. Oh, I forgot to adjust this path some. Hold on. Just little things. Once that wheat grows, I'm gonna till it all and use that to make some more. Also, I can just plant these seeds as is. Hello, villager. Do you like what's happening around your house? Because it's happening literally next door to you. Hope you enjoy all this new farmland and pathing. If you don't, too bad. Made your entire situation look better. Totally not, annexing this entire area for the sake of myself. Nope. Never happened. How far out do I want this to go to? I can't go out to the end of the path here. And then loop around this corner. Yeah, this farm needs to go as well. Because it's kind of a mess. Honestly, let me block up some of this. Oh, there's a golem down here? There's two Guys, what's going on? Did you get knocked down here by the flow of water? Well, they can stay there. Silly golems. Oh, goodness me. I'm trying to get my sleep schedule back in order. It's not easy when you've shifted it out of whack as much as I did over the past month or so. But it's always good to get sleep. Professionals have standards, and pseudo-professionals recommend getting a good night's rest. Circadian rhythm is a bitch, by the way. We are creatures of habit, both physically and mentally. And if you throw off even minute things like when you take rest, you feel terrible. And I have had a couple days like that. Physically. Oh, oops, too much. There we go. Oh, this is actually gonna look okay when I'm done here. There's also gonna be a nice big patch in the center that I can do with whatever I want. There is a lot of grass though. 20. I'm gonna say that's 20 because I don't remember what 20 was. I need to go make some more bread. Why did I move the sword? I forgot. Okay, let's go make some bread. There is a lot of grass. Oops! Just alerted all the villagers. Oh, forgot to fill these in. There you go. Y'all don't need farmland. At least in that section. I want to get rid of this beach too. It looks a little bit garish. It's all about aesthetic. Making this house blend in some surrounding area. It's not gonna be perfect, but it'll look decent. Honestly, it was huge to find all those villages. 'Cause I have wheat for days. Literally. Like if I stream this multiple days, I will have absolutely no problem. Oh, why is this still down? Hang on. Because the source is right there. Did I step on it? Is that why? Possibly. This, I think, is because it's too far away from the water source. Honestly, then, that's an easier fix. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Perfect. All right, back to measuring out that fence. Do I want this 1 high or 2 high? The fence, not the posts. The posts are fine. Depends on how it will look. Let me add another. Oops, wrong thing. Scrolled too far. Speaking of scrolling, I don't know why I thought of this, but I've played the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, and after having played Java for as long as I have, what did they do to that? What did they do to Bedrock, man? It feels so different. It's the same game, but it feels so different. It just doesn't feel the same. I don't know if it's the controls or what. Maybe it's the crafting recipes and other things. I don't know. I personally don't like Bedrock Edition. But that's just me. For people who play on Bedrock Edition because it's on console or that was the first version they purchased, oh, that's the wrong tool. Hey, at least you're playing Minecraft. I also don't get the argument between the two. Like, why not both? You can enjoy one and enjoy the other. It's not like you're pigeonholed into just one. Honestly, I feel like that would solve a ton of our. I know it's the easy way out. Why not just both? Like one has to be better than the other, right? But no, not every time. Sometimes you can enjoy two things if they're diametrically opposed. Well, unless it's like sociological, then there is one clear answer. But that's not a discussion I like having. Wait, hold on. Forgot to till that. Oh no, that's the wrong tool again. I need a shovel and I've run out of shovels. Make sure I break. Sorry, let me make sure I break all these. What is it that you break faster with? Sword? I think it's string. Or not string, cobwebs. I haven't found an abandoned mineshaft yet, I don't think, in this world. That might be a good thing to go out and look for. If I do another adventure, that's definitely what I'm going to try to find. Depending on the save, they're either extremely hard to come by, or you literally, like, land on top of one accidentally. There is no in-between. It's either, I've never found this, or, wow, it's right here. Why are there creepers in front of my house? Why are there 2 creepers in front of my house is the better question. Oh, you little jerks. They are not little, they are the same height as me, but still. Alright, can you guys, like, not... I know they don't burn in sunlight, but I wish they did. Oh, whoever designed that... Like, the idea that creepers don't burn in sunlight, like, come on, man. Oops. Hey, oh, crap. Run past him! Son of a... Their explosion radius is way too wide. Where's the other one? It's a very nice everything you have there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. Thank you, Mr. Creeper. Very cool. Oh, yeah. I got into an argument with friends at one point over, like, filling in holes. I know, sounds gross, and I did not mean to say that like that. But, like... When creepers explode near your buildings or near your base, and you need to fill in the dirt that they break, I got into an argument one time over, like, if you should just fill it in and patch it up to where it physically looks like it did before they blew up, or you fill it in. And in my personal opinion, you should fill it in. Use all the dirt that you have. I don't care. Just make sure that any possible hole that a creeper leaves in the ground, you fill up completely with dirt. Because what happens if you build under it? All of a sudden now there's this gap. And it's just peace of mind as well. Like, oh, there was never any damage done to that. Hi, kitty. But no, a couple of my friends were like, oh, you just be lazy and fill it in halfway. No, fill the whole thing. You have the dirt. Everybody has the dirt. Just do it. Make your dreams come true. Oh, that's neat. Look at that. It's like a little ray. That might be a glitch. I don't think it is, but it could be. Ooh, that's coming along nicely. Look at that. Also, the creeper somehow blew up that. Where did the other one go? I hope he despawned. I don't need any more creepers in my life. Oh, I almost jumped. Like that. At least jumping up a block, it's fine, so. I'm actually getting all these seeds without even tilling the farmland. Oops. Oh wait, no, that's supposed to be like that. Almost there. Oh, I have another stack. Ooh. I probably shouldn't have composted all those seeds from before, but hindsight's 2020. I have bone meal now to spend on them. So there's that. Oopsie. I swear, the combination of Minecraft with like chill background music. I know Minecraft has some wonderful BGM. Anything by C418 and Lena Rain is great. But just combining Minecraft with like relaxing background music. It puts me in such a peaceful state of mind. I can obviously like get high energy if I start to get focused on something and start rambling like nonsense. But just sitting back and going, yeah, Minecraft. Such a cool feeling, really. And it's one of the only games I play regularly where I feel like that, because when the games I play very regularly right now are obviously the ones that I'm playing for story for stream, which is BioShock, which is alternatively extremely tense, extremely story heavy, and really adrenaline pumping. And my personal brain rot, which is Destiny 2. And that game is alternatively kind of boring, pretty fun, mindless, or extremely infuriating all at the same time. Like, if that is the game that I have raged the hardest at, is Destiny 2. But Minecraft, unless something terrible happens to me all of a sudden, I'm usually very calm. And I'd say that's true for a lot of people, unless you are genuinely terrified of everything in this game, which is a scary game. It is. If you go out caving, having any mob spawn behind you just sucks. They full on go nothing personnel, kid, and make your heart leap in your throat. There was a creeper earlier today that happened. And it's, like I said, it is a scary game. I will not prevent Minecraft from having that little tidbit of info. But it is much more relaxed compared to a lot of the stuff that I play on a regular basis. I'm a very action-oriented person. I like my fair share of action games, RPGs, story-based stuff. So just kind of sitting back and letting my mind say, hey, just do something. Honestly, refreshing change of pace. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see me go back and have to start counting again as I was talking? 17, 18, 19, 20 is right here. And that might be 21, but I don't have to be perfect. This tree's gotta go. Sorry, nature. I will replant. They always come back. Oh boy. I mentioned a while back, it might have been my last stream. I usually take quick little naps before I do these, because for me these streams are pretty late. But I've stopped doing that because I figured out how to like stay up for longer periods of time. I mentioned that I'm fixing my sleep schedule, and I'm not wrong about that. Like, I'm trying my absolute best to wake up at a solid time, stay up the whole day, not pass out halfway through. It's hard because it's the winter season, and I'm more apt to stay asleep than I am to stay awake. I think one day, pretty recently, I ended up sleeping like 14 hours or something like that within one period of time, which, don't do that. Don't do that unless you have literally nothing to do. Because all that is a hardcore time waster. That plus you also feel like shit when you wake up. But you know, I'm slowly re-regulating my circadian rhythm, so when I'm doing these streams, because I'm not taking that nap to give myself some rejuvenation by, like, how far are we in? Yeah, almost 2 hours. I start to get fatigued, which is honestly completely natural. Also depends on the game too. BioShock last weekend, well, actually this past weekend. I don't know what was up, but I was getting really tired by the end of that. Might have just been the end of the week, and my body was going, hey, you should catch up on some sleep, bro. And I went, you know what? I think you're right. And after stream, I clonked out pretty hard. I'm not wrong about the sleeping as a time waster thing. I've done that a couple times. It does. That's the kind of funny part about sleeping, at least, is like depending on how much you sleep, depending on where you're sleeping, that sort of thing. Sometimes it just feels really nice to just cozy up in a bed and pass out for a while. At least for me, friggin' at least for me, it's just sometimes it's just so nice to clonk out for a bit. It's comfortable. Sleep is meant to be comfortable, and it's something that we definitely do need. I might have mentioned before, I might not have. I do sometimes, I might die. That was a close one. Did I mention I hate skeletons? Anyway, sleep is important and we all need it, but I sometimes wish that we didn't have to sleep, so we as a whole could be like more productive, for lack of a better term. But I don't know. I feel like I'd miss going to sleep. It also is really, really bad for your health if you don't sleep. Like, extremely bad. There are horror stories about people not getting any sleep for extended periods of time, and you legitimately start hallucinating. And I don't know about you, but I've pulled a couple all-nighters. I've had difficulty pulling a couple all-nighters, but I've pulled a couple all-nighters. Dealing with that nonsense is not the most exciting thing in the universe. Especially when you stay up the whole time, and then do what you have to do for the sake of the all-nighter, and then you go, wow, I feel like death. And then the alternate in the back of your room, who is clearly definitely there and not just you hallucinating, says, I'm gonna replace you when you go to sleep tonight. And it's like, oh great, way to keep me up longer. I can't count and talk at the same time. I hope everyone's aware of what I mean when I bring up alternates. Mandela Catalog is super famous these days. Well deserved too, because Alex Castor is a great creator. I mentioned my love affair with analog horror before. I think so. 10, 12, 13, 14. If I haven't, it'll probably come up again. This is gonna be a straight line. This is weird. Oh, why did that look so freaky? Yeah, analog horror is great because it's a lot of times it's world building, and a lot of the other times it's just spooky for the sake of being spooky. I like spooky. I like spooky when it's done right. Cheap scares are cheap. Honestly, if there's a game I'd say that does scares right, at least in a way that that doesn't feel like it's cheating you. It might be a semi-bad example depending on how you feel, but I think Mortuary Assistant does a really good job. Because a lot of the scares in that game are like blink and you'll miss it kind of things, where something appears out of the corner of your eye, something gets directly manipulated out of your vision, and then when you see it again, all of a sudden it's different. It's like, oh god, what? I'm actually getting goosebumps just thinking about some of the stuff in Mortuary Assistant. Legitimately, I felt my skin crawl a little bit. That game is scary. It really is. But yeah, I think it does. It scares a lot of right. There's some jumpy scares in there because every game nowadays has them, but I think it does more good than harm. It's also relatively short of experience, which is good for horror games sometimes. I noticed that there's a couple that genuinely tend to overstay their welcome. Like to give an example, and I know this might be a little bit of a hot take, if not a lukewarm take. I think that Amnesia: The Dark Descent is a good game. Like the original Amnesia, the one that kickstarted a lot of the horror stuff, especially on YouTube. I think that Amnesia: The Dark Descent is a good game, and I think that the first half does a very good justice in building tension and like establishing how the environment is and like what you'll expect, dealing with the castle, dealing with all of the monsters inside, figuring out how to survive, dealing with sanity, all that stuff. It does a really good job. But the second half kind of drags. It kind of starts to fall off in the second half. A lot of people recognize that Amnesia, at least that Amnesia, is a gaming classic, or at least a gaming cult classic. And I would agree. It has influenced quite a lot in the horror game genre with how it dealt with stuff. But that does not mean it is perfect. There are some definite criticisms you can make because, again, it was one of the progenitors of the whole deal, at least in the style that it's presented in. And like I said, it's not perfect. Neither are its sequels. But entertainment is subjective. I say that a lot, and it's true. Entertainment is subjective. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Something that you might not like, someone else might like. Something that you might like, someone else might not like. We're all different. But at least in my opinion, I do think Dark Descent is good, but I think it could be better. There have been a lot of like genuinely decent horror games over the years that could be just a bit better and they'd be fantastic. But there's just that modicum of missed potential that just brings them down ever so slightly. And then there's a bunch of horror games that are just cheap scares for the sake of cheap scares. There's also a couple of horror games that, like, I know for a fact are seen with some rose-tinted glasses because they aren't actually that good in hindsight. They have massive influence in the gaming sphere, but they're not actually as great as a lot of people say. Like Slender, the whole Slender deal, massive influence, huge cultural phenomenon. It's literally just a go out and find 8 pages. I'm talking about the 8 pages here. It's literally just a fetch quest where you go and find 8 pages and run from the silly tall man wearing the white bodysuit. It's definitely overrated. I won't say it's bad because it was unique for the time, but it is. We're definitely looking at it through rose-tinted glasses if we want to call it like a masterpiece of horror, because it really is not. I know this might get me a lot of flack, but honestly, I kind of say the same thing about Five Nights at Freddy's. I know that a lot, and I mean a lot of people really like Five Nights at Freddy's, and I can see it. I see the appeal. I also really liked Five Nights at Freddy's at one point. And you know what? At least the first game, and maybe even the second game, genuinely good experiences. If we really think about it, genuinely good experiences. Super innovative. Did something that not a lot of horror games were doing at the time. Created a unique aesthetic with the way that Scott Cawthon designed the whole deal. And you know what? He did a lot with not much. And I think it works. I think the original Five Nights at Freddy's is really well done. But the rest of the series, like 2 is just 1, but better, mechanic-wise. 3 is just 1 with gimmicks. 4 is just 1, but, like, over-the-top scary, so it's not scary anymore. 5 is just a visual novel, and 6 is actually good. We don't talk about the VR one and Security Breach because one was essentially a love letter to the rest of the series, and the other is a broken mess. But, you know, I would say overrated. I know that's kind of a hot take, but I would say it's a bit overrated these days. They're not bad games, they're great games. At least a couple of them. And I really respect Scott Cawthon for everything he did. But, like, masterpieces? Touchstones of horror? Not quite. Not quite. They are fun. And I think that's the most important part, is they are fun. But I wouldn't put them up on a pedestal just because they are, you know, FNAF. The lore, though, is funny as hell. It all started back in 1967 with a man named William Afton, and then you just go off. Go off, man. Five Nights at Freddy's. Honestly, though, I really don't think it would have become the cultural icon it is today without content creators helping it out. And I know that that's sort of a well-known thing at this point, that like people like Markiplier and Matt Patton and such really gave the game some decent legs to stand on. But genuinely, it was a coordinated effort, I tell you that. And it has inspired some damn solid projects out of the whole deal. Both FNAF inspired and like non-FNAF related. Was it Flumpties? One Night at Flumpties, which is just if someone took the art style and the quality of, say, Cuphead and made it a FNAF clone, which is probably one of the most decent FNAF clones out there. Walton Files, which is an analog horror series based on creepy animatronics, which takes a lot of cues from FNAF, but isn't actually FNAF in basically any way. It's more in line with like other analog horror stuff like Local 58 and obviously Mandela Catalog and stuff like that. I don't know, the internet's a big place and people take influence from a lot of different sources. And you get some real quality stuff. I gush about world building a lot, and it's true. I really like world building stuff. I really like lore-based content. I still watch FNAF lore videos to this day, to be fair. It's just fun deep diving into really, really intricate stories that people have crafted. And that's honestly why people come back for certain video games these days, is just to dissect the lore. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 20. And honestly, I'm here for it. Like, if a game is quote unquote not relevant anymore, or something along those lines, just people don't play it, or people don't talk about it, or whatever, and there's still like stuff to uncover and things to figure out, even if it's not a game, even if it's like a show or a series or whatever you want to call it. Oops. If there's something to uncover, I am there. I want to see what people think. And there are some fantastic, and I really do mean fantastic, content creators focused around analog horror, abstract concepts, uncovering stuff, the whole 9 yards. I've talked about this before, and that's like a solid third of my YouTube content these days. World building, and analog horror analysis. Honestly, one of my favorite series to binge watch occasionally. Both the original like fully serialized stuff and the what's it called? the review of it is, I don't know who knows Nick Nocturne Nightmind. He's a pretty cool cat, literally. And he did a series a long time ago on Marble Hornets, which Marble Hornets was the original, like, fully realized Slenderman concept. And I love watching that back. I know it's an old Nightmind video, because that's Nick Nocturne's channel is Nightmind. I know it's an older Nightmind video, and his quality has improved over time, and I still watch him to this day. He still makes really great content on deep dives and such. But that series in particular is always fun to go back and watch, because it's a good breakdown of one of the oldest quote unquote alternate reality games on the net. And Marble Hornets had so much influence on quite a large part of what people would eventually develop. It's just that whole thing's just a really fun part of the internet, in my opinion. You get to watch people be insanely creative with stuff, and usually it has a horror edge, and it all works out, and it's really fun. Wait, hold on. I definitely screwed that up. I went silent so I could count. I still screwed it up. I also need to get rid of these, like, weird paths. And some of this farmland that's still here. It's kind of a mess. All right, where do I want the cutoff to be? Because I think I want it to be, like, right here-ish. I think that's a solid place to fill this in. Slowly but surely, I'm making this place look nice while I'm talking about internet content that I like to follow. Oh, speaking of internet content that I like to follow, I went a little overboard, at least for me, but I was having the time of my life watching, what was it, Wrestle Sanji 2023? God, I love them. That whole agency is just honestly a goof and a gaff and a guffaw of hilarity. There was some choice moments where I could not stop laughing in that. Seriously, if you do not actively watch Niji Sanji content, go watch Wrestle Sanji, because it is the furthest thing from like a serious like wrestling show that you could possibly get. It's just chaos. It is the epitome of chaos, and that makes it the most hilarious thing. It's to the point where they're a VTubing agency, and what was it? One of the, I think Vox was legitimately considering having The Rock join Niji Sanji if he won the Royal Rumble at the end. Which honestly, I'd be down. Dude, imagine Dwayne The Rock Johnson as a virtual liver or virtual YouTuber, whatever you want to call it. And every time he moves or every time he makes any sort of reaction to something, the eyebrow with just the Vine boom noise. 110% will watch every single stream. It went on, that wrestling thing went on for a while too. That's like you have to spend the full day tuned into that. I know it was at night for most of the people participating, and I feel like for most of the people watching, but for me it was in the middle of the day because, 14-hour time difference. But still, damn, was that fun. I love content like that. I think all in all, like everything I talk about when I talk about content that I generally consume, it all comes back around to entertainment. If it broadens my knowledge, I'm entertained. if it freaks me out and makes me think about abstract lore and crazy stuff, I'm entertained. If it's just hilarious for the sake of being hilarious, I'm entertained. And I'm gonna say it again, entertainment is subjective. There's a lot of stuff that I don't find super intriguing that a lot of people absolutely love. And everybody has an audience. Everybody has an audience. Even the smaller people. Especially the smaller people. Everyone has an audience. It's just about, like, who you find and when. Alright, let's continue this here. I need to bring the slabs out. Wait, when did I get more? Right, I cut down that tree. This, though, this whole spiel, this is truly why I love these Minecraft streams, especially the building ones. Because I don't know, when I'm doing, not to say that I don't like doing the chatting streams, but I've had a couple of bad apples show up during them. I don't know why. It's something to do with Twitch. But when I do like the fully just I'm sitting in front of the camera and chatting, when I do those, I always get really fidgety because like the entirety of it is just me talking. There is nothing to do. My hands aren't doing anything. My face isn't really doing anything. I'm just kind of staring at the camera like this the entire time. Just blah, 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 blah. And again, not to say that I don't have stuff to talk about or I don't have fun with them. But it always feels weird. It just feels slightly, ever so slightly weird when I do those. I always want something to like focus on that isn't just me talking. So I think these truly are my proper chatting streams, is these Minecraft streams. And honestly, I love that. Minecraft just kind of lends itself to that, you know? Sometimes just placing blocks over and over again can be a bit boring. And it's true, it can be. It gets a bit repetitive, especially with big builds. How many times have I counted to 20 so far, right? I gotta count to it again, hold on. 7, 8, 9. There we go. But, yeah, my point still stands. Especially for games like this where, a lot of the focus can be put on the back burner while either you just do a menial task or sort of multitask with both chatting about random stuff and playing the game. I honestly think that these are my favorite streams to just kind of relax and talk about random stuff. We're almost at the end of January, which I said at the beginning of the stream, but it still amazes me how far through the first month we already are. Oh god, did not mean to do that. And I'll keep saying that until the month's over, because we're already, what is it, 24th? Yeah, not the 25th. 25th for some, 24th for others. But it's just, man, we're already here. We're already almost at February. And I don't know what the future will hold. I never know what the future will hold. Everything's just kind of going with the flow. But I like this sort of consistency. I definitely am still a bit miffed about the whole computer not agreeing with me. But as long as I can come back and say, hey, let's play some Minecraft, I think I'll find solace in that. I did not mean to break these, but I might as well replant them and be nice. As long as there's something to do in Minecraft, I'll always have time for it. And the nice thing about Minecraft is there's usually a lot to do. I still have dimensions to travel to. I still have builds that I want to work on. Designing structures, automating stuff. That'll all come later. Oh, hold on. I just realized something. No, we're still okay. My timestamp at the on the Streamlabs has given up on me. Oh, Minecraft just crashed. I tabbed out. Oopsie. Yeah, my timestamp has given up on me, so I have completely lost track of time. It still says an hour and 44. But yeah, like with all this rambling, this is honestly the best game to do it. IMO. I said IMO again. Help, I'm slowly starting to develop slang terms. Like internet speak slang terms, help. I'm gonna finish the perimeter on this. Yeah, I think I'm almost at about 3 hours. That's fine. Still Boringus. Yeah, I'll finish the perimeter on this. Do a little bit more detailing, and then I'll call it. I've had a really good stream so far though. Here's to more Minecraft always, you know? It's good to have some degree of consistency in a game that you can just pick up and play whenever. Speaking of games that I can just pick up and play, I have thought somewhat about returning to Destiny 2 at some point in the future, but I'd have to have a really solid reason to do it, because right now pretty much my entire, I've said this a couple times, pretty much my entire oh, I want to play Destiny 2 is exclusively offline. Back when I was still streaming on YouTube, which I eventually do want to go back to one day, I mentioned in a very, very old stream that I was going to come back to it in due time, but I ran out of things to do. And it's true. I don't care what people say. As someone who has played the game religiously since Destiny 1's launch, the New Light campaign is kind of all over the place for new players, so the barrier to entry is pretty high. I'm sure if you want to, I'm not gonna say I don't recommend it, but they're kind of amateur. I do have, I think, 3 streams that I did of Destiny 2, going through the general basic story stuff. And back when I did, I knew what to do, and I sort of explained what my intent was with a lot of it, but looking back, you would have no clue what's going on if you've never touched the game before, because there's so much to it. We're at a point in the story of that game where they've essentially gotten rid of the first 2. Hey, for fuck's sake! They've essentially gotten rid of the first 2 years of the game, so you're kind of dropped into the middle of everything. Even as a new player, you're kind of dropped into the middle of everything. It would be like playing any live service game and joining in at season 4. That's kind of how it feels. Oh, you can just pick up and go, but not quite. There's more to it than that. And like I said, if I go back and play Destiny 2, I need a good reason for it. I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna try to beat this dungeon without dying, or I don't know. I'm gonna play multiplayer and not rage, or Something along those lines. But it'll come with time. I'll eventually return to it because I do like Destiny 2. Probably a little too much. I don't like the controversy surrounding the game, though, I will tell you that. I think that people like to complain a little too much about their favorite video games. I think sometimes it's warranted, because we should be critics of the games that we play a lot, but not to be that guy, but fuck's sake! See, this is what I mean. The only death today. I'm gonna sleep, grab all my stuff, and patch that hole. Damned creepers. What was I saying? I think that it's warranted for people to complain about the games that they like to play because we want things to be better. We do. But especially with Destiny, I don't know what it's like for other quote unquote MMO or like live service game sort of deals. But I swear the amount of criticism that game gets from its own players is ridiculous, for one. And for two, the type of criticism that the game gets is either needlessly antagonizing everyone for the sake of, you know, either clout or making your point right, or just generally being belligerent. And complaining because the game's either not easy enough or not hard enough for you. Like the current sticking point with a lot of people right now is there's a stat in the game that you can build into called resilience. And resilience is essentially your damage reduction, where in high level gameplay, the more damage reduction you have, the less damage you take from enemies, and the longer you can stay in a fight without, you know, collapsing over like a wet noodle. And the main argument is after the changes to it, where the stat was originally like completely pointless, like it did almost nothing. But Bungie, the developers, changed it to where the stat is now much, much better and grants a 40% reduction to all damage at max rank, at like max stat investment. And essentially what that means is when something hits you, doesn't matter what it is, instead of dealing 100% of the damage, it's only dealing about 60% of the damage, which is a huge reduction, especially in endgame. And the general argument is having that damage resist that high healthy for build crafting in the game? And the general consensus is no, it's not, and I agree. But the ways that people articulate their commentary on that range from genuinely well thought out and pragmatic to I'm gonna bitch about it because this random person disagrees with me. And it's like, when will we ever be able to talk about something in that game without coming at each other's throats? Seriously. That's honestly kind of why I'm glad, A, I'm not a Destiny content creator, and B, I'm not a popular Destiny content creator. Because, man, literally everything that they say does have weight, regardless of how big or small. And sometimes the comments are very well warranted, and other times people tear them apart because big streamer person said bad thing about thing that I like, so therefore game is worse because big streamer is big. Jealousy. And it's like, yeah, I think you should walk that one back a little. But again, that seems to be the case with a lot of gaming communities these days. There's always going to be bad actors. There's always going to be people with strongly worded opinions. And sometimes you just kind of have to cut the bullshit and say, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy what I have. Build some constructive criticism on what needs to be done and move on with life. And anyone who is like actively antagonizing others can go piss up a flagpole. Honestly. And man, I wish. I don't know. I just like finding people who enjoy things for the sake of enjoying things and not like constantly being critical. I don't mind criticism. I think that criticism is well warranted, but sometimes it's good to just kind of go, you know what? I just want to have fun, and then have fun. Trust me, when I eventually play Destiny 2, you will witness some very colorful words that I have for specific things. A lot of it's baby complaining, because I know that I'm not bad at the game, and I know I can do better. And when I play against people online, I'm a sore loser, and yada yada yada. You know the whole deal. But I have a lot of colorful commentary about like things that clearly don't matter. It's like essentially Twitter level commentary, which means absolutely no degree of backing for the argument and just being angry for the sake of being angry. Sorry, Twitter, but that's true. But yeah, like, I don't know, to give you an example, the current strongest weapon, I'm talking way too much about Destiny, I apologize. The strongest weapon in the game right now for PvP is Dead Man's Tale, which is essentially a scout rifle, which is a long-range weapon that can hit headshots very easily, as it stands right now. And every time I see it, and every time someone kills me with it, I go, "Oh man, imagine crutching with your stupid DMT. How about you use a different weapon and see how good your KD is?" Or something along those lines. Which is like hardcore toxic talk, and I'm fully aware of that, but I need to vent because it makes me angry, because I know I can fight people like that, but it's annoying to watch people use and abuse weapons like that. But honestly, until like Bungie balances everything, which is impossible, they don't know what that word means. People are gonna abuse what they want to abuse, and when something gets rotated out, something will rotate in, and the cycle continues. But you know, we make do. Every game's like that. Every game that has some degree of quote unquote the meta, there's always people who are going to be slaves to it, and there's always people who are going to intentionally avoid it because they don't want to be like everyone else. And by intentionally avoiding the meta, you end up being like everyone else, or at least a subset of people. Funny how that works, eh? I want to be unique, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, you're actually not that unique because this person is doing the same thing. It's like, oh, well, darn. That was like the whole commentary back in the day with hipsters. Yeah, I know. I just brought up hipsters in 2023. But the commentary with hipsters was like, oh man, all this mainstream stuff. I don't like all this mainstream stuff. Let me do stuff that's like not mainstream. Really be out of band. And yeah, totally different. And people respect me because I'm doing something that's not what everyone else does. And then like everyone started doing that, or at least a subset of people started doing that. I think that's 20. Not sure. We'll have to cut down that tree. Like a whole subset of people started doing that. And it ended up being where quote-unquote hipsters ended up being their own subset of people who acted kind of the same. And the idea of being a hipster became like a mainstream thing. So they defeated their own purpose by trying to be so unique and different that they ended up being the same. Like I said, funny how that works, because it happens a lot. Standing out, though, is hard. For pretty much anything. Music, art, live streaming, content creation. Standing out's hard. I think I said a while ago, I heard a quotation a long time ago that, like, truly making content and truly becoming successful was it 90% effort, 10% luck? But that's just, you know, the actual, like, doing part of it. The becoming part of it is 90% luck and 10% effort. It is luck. It really is. You're dealing with internet algorithms. You're dealing with people being able to discover you in easy ways, and you have to dedicate yourself to self-promotion, especially on the internet, because you are in a sea of millions of people, some of which are doing exactly what you're trying to do. And standing out can be a son of a bitch, especially in an oversaturated environment, which there are a lot of. But the main takeaway, I feel like I'm a broken record sometimes, but the main takeaway is you should enjoy yourself. If you stop enjoying what you're doing while you're doing it, just don't do it anymore. It's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. But if you're constantly on this grind of, oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this, or else I won't keep up with all the stuff that I'm trying to do. And if this doesn't happen, then this won't happen. And if this happens, then this won't happen. Blah, 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 blah. And if you're constantly on that train of like, I need to do everything all at once, or else. Like, if you start going with the or else mentality, stuff starts to fall through and it just stops being fun. And at the end of the day, that's what needs to stay. Like I said, it doesn't matter what you're doing. The two biggest things for anybody at all, when you're doing something, is you need to have the passion for it, and you need to enjoy what you're doing. If you lack either of those things, it's stuff just doesn't work out as easy, or sometimes at all. I would know. I've done a couple of things in the past, obviously not streaming or content creation or anything like that, where I just completely lost interest in what I was doing, and as I was doing it. And over time, you slowly start to get into this, I don't want to do this anymore. I think I'm done here. I feel like I'm not doing what I want to. And it falls apart. It does. So to kind of summarize what I mean here, if you ever decide to start anything, doesn't matter what it is, if you have that passion, just do it. See what you can do. See how much you enjoy what you're doing. And then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's just facts. But if it does work out and you continue enjoying what you're doing and you experience some success, just keep at it. If you're enjoying yourself and people are enjoying what you're doing, and as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, just honestly don't worry. Just everything eventually comes up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go. I bring up my personal feelings about what I'm doing a lot. Well, not a lot, but I've brought it up a couple times. And I do enjoy what I do. It can be a bit taxing at times because it's mainly me trying to motivate myself to do certain things. And that honestly is its own mess. Trust me. But think about it like this. If I continue to just enjoy myself and learn the ropes of how to stream, when to stream, what I'm streaming, how streaming works, all these different things. Content creation, editing, graphic design, all these things. Even if success doesn't come to me, even if people aren't entertained by what I do, at the end of the day, I'm learning something. And that's another big takeaway is I'm learning something by doing all this. And who knows, maybe in the future, maybe in a different format, maybe in a different way, maybe in a job, who knows? These skills might come back and might be useful to me. And I might do something big with them. But as it stands right now, I'm just enjoying playing games and talking about random nonsense. And 2, learning a hell of a lot. I won't say I'm not a victim of a constant uphill battle. I think we all are in some aspects. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. Trust me, I think I mentioned before, I had this idea brewing back since like December 2020, just to give you some perspective. That's how long I've been sitting on this whole streaming business. I've wanted to stream for longer, but specifically like this since around that time. But I'm here now. I'm doing it now, and I've heard advice. Constantly. Just do it. If you really think you can, and you really have that passion and that drive, just do it. See what happens. Give it a shot. Put your foot in the door. Because the worst thing you can do, this is legitimate, true. The worst thing you can do with anything is if you want to do something, but you're afraid of failure. You're afraid of not getting what you want. You're afraid of not doing what you want to do. The worst thing you can do is not even try in the first place. Really, that is the case. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, one more. And that's what I have learned from pretty much all of this. It doesn't matter what it is. Just give it a try. You'd be surprised at how much you can actually do by just saying, you know what, screw it. And again, it's all learning. Everything's learning. Let me cut down these pumpkins. Check my seeds. But I hope, for anyone who hears that advice, I hope that was worthwhile. Hey, a dog. Or a wolf. I hope that was worthwhile. I use that advice personally quite a lot. Because it's just really helpful. For pretty much anything I do. It's not just this. And especially when I'm like, when I'm down, or I'm self-doubting myself, because I do that a lot too. It's always like a you know what? Don't worry about it. Just think about the positives, think about what you'll take out of it, and focus on that. And that helps me a lot. I wasn't expecting to get like super introspective or anything like that, but that's what happens when you randomly ramble about stuff, you know? Again, that's why I like Minecraft so much. Now, let me fully plant this, and then I think I'll call it, because I've had a really good stream today. This rice paddy, well, not, I keep saying rice paddy. It's not a rice paddy. It's a wheat field. But you know what? It's coming out really nice. And once it fills in, it'll add a lot of character. It's already partially filled in. I did sort of appropriate all of the other farms, though. Okay. Nice. Look at that. Nice little patch. Yeah, that. Oh, hold on. Let's look from the front. Ooh, that looks actually pretty decent. Yeah, so I'll do the fence next time. But for now, I honestly think that's a pretty good place to stop. Because, you know, even if it's incremental, even if it's just a little bit, still progress. And this village is going to slowly shape up, and I'm going to make it look super nice by the end. At least, that's the hope. Every single design decision is kind of off the cuff, so oh well. Anyway, I hope you had fun in the stream today. I definitely did. For anyone who showed up during the stream, thank you so much. I'm always happy to chat with people, and hopefully I could entertain you somewhat. For anyone watching the VOD, it's good to see you too. Tomorrow, normally it'd be the day after, but tomorrow I will be playing Plants vs. Zombies. Yeah, crazy tower defense game. And I want to see if I can beat the whole thing in one sitting. I don't know how long it's gonna take. But if I can get the dang game working, I've already had a couple issues with it, so hopefully I don't have to switch out last second. But if I can get the dang game working, we're gonna try to beat the whole thing in one sitting. So, I think this is a good place to cut off. I will see you then. I hope you come and spend some time them too. And good night, or good day, or whatever it is. Bye-bye.